So how would you finish this quote? If something's worth doing, it's worth doing. Let's talk a little bit about how we engage in our world, especially when things get hard. Now, the way I've normally heard that quote finished is, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And that is supposed to be an inspiration for you to continue to try to do it and to do it better. However, I find sometimes that actually makes it more difficult for me to get engaged with something. If something is hard and it's worth doing, well, then I want to be able to do it really well right off the bat. Some people are kind of perfectionists, and you see the level that other people are engaging at and doing different kinds of things, and you're like, man, I can't do it that well. So then often we don't even try. The biggest problem with that, of course, is if you don't try and you don't start, you won't be able to get better, and so then you won't be able to do whatever it is well. But it's hard sometimes to get started, which is why I like to finish the quote this way. If something's worth doing, it's worth doing poorly. And that does not give you an excuse to just continue to do it poorly. What the idea is that if it's worth doing, it's better to have it done poorly than not at all. It's better to try, to get started, to actually do some things, to make the mistakes, to fail at it so that you can learn, so that you can grow, and eventually so you can do it well. I remember the first time we put a video together for our worship services because the services were canceled, and we just used our phones and we didn't really have a break. And as we were going through and I was recording, I think I was recording the message at that point, at some point in there I was like just about finished, and then the phone said, oh, this file is too large, cannot be saved, and it shut down and it killed everything. So we had to start the whole thing all over again, and we're kind of like, man, we don't know how to do this. What is going on? And it was a steep learning curve, and it was hard, and it was difficult, but at the same time we knew it was better to do something than to do nothing. And that's what I hope you get out of this quote, that if something is worth doing, it is worth doing poorly. Now, don't stay doing it poorly. Learn, grow, develop, and get better at what you're doing so that eventually maybe it's worth doing well. But if it's worth doing, just do it. No matter how many mistakes you make, no matter how difficult it is, or how bad you feel about the finished product, you don't necessarily have to show anybody, or you don't have to tell anybody. You can grow, you can develop, we all do. And if it's worth doing, it is worth doing. Period.